Ecuador is mourning one of its brightest stars. Paulina Tamayo, affectionately known as La Grande del Ecuador, has passed away at the age of 60. The heartbreaking news was confirmed on Tuesday, October 21st, 2025, through her official Instagram account, which shared a moving tribute to the legendary singer. The post read in Spanish, "The great of Ecuador, a legend of our music, leaves us a legacy that will live on forever. Her voice remains in the heart of an entire country. Thank you for everything, eternal Paulina, forever the great of Ecuador." Tamayo, who was adored across Latin America for her powerful voice and emotional performances, took her final breath surrounded by love and respect, the same way she had lived her life, through music that touched millions. Early life and musical beginnings. Paulina Tamayo was born on April 14, 1965, in Quito, Ecuador, a city whose rich culture and musical traditions would deeply shape her life. From an early age, it was clear she was destined for the stage. At just 7 years old, Paulina joined the renowned theater company of Don Ernesto Albán, one of Ecuador's most respected artistic institutions. There, she spent 12 years mastering her craft, learning not only how to sing, but how to connect with audiences, tell stories, and embody emotion in every performance. Music was in her blood. Her mother, Maria Luisa Ceballos Paladins, was also a talented composer, and several of Paulina's earliest recordings, including Imploración de Amor, Fe Perdida, and Calicita de Amor, were written by her. These songs, tender yet powerful, became part of Ecuador's collective memory and introduced the young artist to the world as a once-in-a-generation voice. Even as a child performer, she carried herself with grace and confidence. Many who saw her on stage described her as born to sing. Those early experiences not only honed her voice, but also shaped her signature emotional style that would later make her one of Ecuador's most cherished artists. Rise to fame. By her teenage years and into early adulthood, Tamayo had already become a household name in Ecuador. Her voice, strong, clear, and filled with soul, resonated deeply with listeners of all generations. Throughout her career, she recorded more than 15 albums, each one showcasing her mastery of música nacional, Ecuador's traditional genre that blends Andean sounds with heartfelt storytelling. Among her most beloved songs were Parece Mentira and Amor, Dolor, both of which captured her ability to balance sorrow and strength in a single breath. Her performances were not just concerts, they were emotional experiences that brought people to tears, laughter, and applause all at once. Tamayo's talent took her far beyond Ecuador's borders. She toured internationally, sharing her country's music with audiences around the world. One of her most memorable tours came in 2015, when she performed across the United States, delighting Ecuadorian communities abroad who saw in her a piece of home. She shared the stage with some of Latin America's greatest artists, names like Alcide Acosta, Roberto Carlos, Juan Gabriel, and El Greco. Yet despite her fame, she always carried herself with humility, never forgetting her roots or the people who supported her. Her signature sound and artistic legacy. What made Paulina Tamayo truly special was not just her technical ability, but the emotion behind her music. She sang as if every note came directly from her heart. She could take a simple melody and make it unforgettable. A song about love lost, a story about hope, a cry from the mountains of Ecuador. Fans often said her voice sounded like home, and her songs became the soundtrack of countless lives and memories. Over the decades, she helped preserve and modernize Ecuadorian traditional music, ensuring that younger generations would continue to hear it in a rapidly changing world. Her commitment to authenticity made her a cultural ambassador, a bridge between Ecuador's musical past and its present. In 2023, even after decades in the industry, she continued to record and release new music. Her final single, Mi Plegaria, released September 8, 2025, carried her unmistakable warmth and emotional power. Listening to it now feels almost prophetic, a heartfelt prayer that echoes even more deeply in the wake of her passing. Personal life. While Paulina's public image was one of confidence and strength, those closest to her describe her as deeply loving and humble. She was a devoted mother to her son, Willie, who became not only her child, but also her greatest admirer. Their bond was evident to anyone who followed them on social media, filled with photos of smiles, hugs, and behind-the-scenes moments from her life as both an artist and a mom. When news of her death broke, Willie posted a moving tribute that left thousands in tears. He shared a photo of himself embracing his mother, writing, The love of my life, my example, my inspiration, and my greatest pride. Your voice, your art, and your light will remain forever in the history of Ecuador, but above all, in the hearts of those of us who had the privilege of loving you. He continued, "Thank you for your endless dedication, your strength, and for teaching me that life is sung with the soul. Your presence will be eternal, Mommy. I don't know how I'll continue without you, but it comforts me that you have always lived in my heart." It was a message that captured not only a son's grief, but the shared emotion of an entire nation mourning their La Grande del Ecuador. Final days and passing. In the weeks leading up to her passing, Tamayo continued to interact with fans online and promote her music. There were no public reports of serious illness, and her death on October 21, 2025, came as a shock to many. Her final public post, shared just days before her passing, celebrated her single Mi Plegaria. The song's title, which translates to My Prayer, now feels like a fitting farewell. While no official cause of death has been publicly confirmed, the tone of tributes from family and colleagues suggests that she passed peacefully. No final words were made public, but her legacy itself feels like a parting message, one filled with gratitude, love, and timeless music. Reactions and tributes. Following the announcement of her death, social media was flooded with messages from fans, fellow musicians, and public figures across Latin America. One fan wrote, "Today Ecuador is mourning. Gone is the voice that made the soul of a country cry. Thank you, my dear Paulina. Thank you for so much." Another added, "May God have her in his glory. What great sorrow goes away, an extraordinary voice and a golden heart." A third message read, "The song of the Andes that vibrated so deeply in the hearts of Ecuadorians now echoes strong and different. The most prodigious voice in the country leaves us. Rest in peace, Paulina." Ecuadorian media outlets described her passing as the end of an era, while the Ministry of Culture called her a national treasure whose art united generations. Her legacy, the Great of Ecuador. Paulina Tamayo's title, La Grande del Ecuador, the Great of Ecuador, was not just a nickname. It was an honor earned through decades of dedication, talent, and love for her culture. She broke barriers for women in Ecuadorian music, paving the way for future female artists to be heard, respected, and celebrated. Her voice became a symbol of Ecuador itself, powerful, emotional, and deeply rooted in tradition. Her impact extended beyond music. Paulina was also a mentor to younger singers, often encouraging them to stay true to their heritage and reminding them that fame meant nothing without authenticity. Even after her passing, her songs continue to play on radio stations, at family gatherings, and in the hearts of fans who grew up listening to her voice. For Ecuadorians everywhere, her music remains a bridge to their identity, a melody of love, loss, and pride. Paulina Tamayo's journey, from a little girl in Quito with a dream to an international icon of Ecuadorian music, is one of resilience, talent, and heart. Her voice will never fade. It lives on in every note she sang, every lyric she brought to life, and every soul she touched. Rest in peace, Paulina Tamayo, La Grande del Ecuador. Your music will echo forever.